Fall food plots, it's drought conditions in most of the Midwest. How can we still get the most food possible for our whitetails for this fall's hunting season that's basically here because it's September? You know, what do we do? What do we do when there's no rain and the plots look like crap? Let's dive into that.
I've said it before, you'll hear me say it again, I will continue to say it. Help the deer do what deer want to do.
So it hasn't rained in like decades, sort of, and it's so dry. It's so dry. Crops are dead. Corn prematured early. Beans are turning brown. I mean, they're dying down. They're not drying down. That's a term we're hearing all too much in agriculture right now. What do we do in this situation where fall plots have been planted for a while, most likely, or maybe you've been waiting to plant your fall plots because there's no rain in the forecast? What do we do? Well, I have been in this situation before, and you can't produce the normal, what you can on a normal year, obviously, but the things that I revert to in a dry year is like my soybeans, they're short, and so they're still getting a lot of sunlight down to the ground level. I will broadcast in cereal grains, my brassicas. I'm gonna start spreading that in my beans because typically you've got a lot of canopy, and in a drought situation, you've got a lot shorter plants, a lot less bushy plants. That's one thing you can do. I've had pretty good luck with it. I'm going to also revert to a lot of the products that do really well in cold temperatures, because if we don't get a rain until, the further we get into the fall, we're going to get that cold, that first freeze, that winter set in sooner to that rain event, assuming that it does eventually rain. If it doesn't rain, if it doesn't ever rain, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing you can do to get a crop up. Yes, you can probably go out and try to water it in, but it takes over 20,000 gallons of water per acre to equal an inch of rain on 1 acre. So if you want to go out there and haul 20,000 gallons out there and spray it, good, send me a video. I'd actually love to see that. But I'm going to up my wheat, my brassicas, my cereal rye, the things that are very winter hardy, maybe some clovers. I'm going to raise the amount of that product, and I'm also going to put more out. So on your seed bag, I'm not in the seed industry, so I have no skin in the game in regards to telling you how much to put on. I put on almost 2 times the recommended rate once we get late into the planting time, that planting window. I'd say after September 15th, if we still don't have much coming up. And so if you put, if you put on your normal rate, I would go in and I'd probably put, the first amount on again. Just because you're gonna get less volume. You don't really have to worry too much about planting too thick because you're not going to get a lot of massive plants. What you want is a lot of plants to come up, but they're not gonna get very tall. So you kind of have to compensate. You get good rains early, you don't want to plant as much because then you got plant competition going on. Drought situation, throw that out the window. This is like emergency 911, doing everything we can just to get something growing. But that's my tips for fall food plots when you are in a drought situation. Like I said, a lot of the Midwest is still very hot, very dry. There's nothing we can do about that. So what can we do to try to offset that the best that we can?